Recording. Hello, patrons. How you doing? It's another lovely day here. It's February 4th, 2026. What happened to January? Did January exist? Was that a real month? Did that
Right,
happen?
We had a bunch of Lorwyn stuff that pushed us through it. It
Whew,
right.
happened
just
quick.
whee, just
That's
went
right.
right through. No idea what happened. Just
I know.
oops, another month.
The year goes by so fast.
Right?
They go by faster.
Tell you what.
The years start coming and they don't stop coming.
They wrote a whole song
Yeah,
about that. Yeah, it's
that's what they said.
weird. Oh, goodness. All right.
So I'm in the market for a Ninja Turtle mask.
Are you
Okay.
now?
Great.
Yeah. Some content reasons I need to get a mask. Well,
Amazing.
here's what, but I had it. We were talking about it, and I had this realization of when you're going to do any amount of costuming,
Hmm.
there's a point where it's acceptable to be low effort, and then
Yeah.
once you cross that line,
Right.
you have to go max effort.
Right.
Sure.
Right? Because the thought I had is like, okay, well, what if I get a mask and I just cut off below the mouth so I can still talk normally, but I have the big bulbous nose and whatever, right?
Mhm.
Like people get it, it's a bit, it's funny, not a big deal. But if I actually decide to paint my face below it, now if my face painting isn't great,
Mm.
now it's trash because you didn't try hard enough, right? You know what I mean? Like there's
Sure.
such a small line of like you have to decide, am I going to fully commit or not? Because there's a line that you can go this far and it's still a good bit.
Mm.
But if you go further, it's like, okay, now you're just insulting the people who really do this, and
I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
love that no matter what it is at this point in time in our society, you can go, I'm doing it for content. No matter what, you know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking for like a barrel of lube. I'm doing it for content. You know what I mean? Like, and no one's going to be like, oh, that's weird. Like, no, it
Oh, dude,
explains
in the last
everything.
couple of years, I have gone looking for cowboy hats. I have gone to the science center just to sit in a fake rocket pod to
Uh-huh.
record something.
Mhm.
Like, just you have an idea, and I'm like, I could make this work.
Mhm.
Like, I just got to get the parts.
You
Where
know,
where can I do this?
right. You have to have that ability, particularly if you're doing filmmaking in public. You got to be able to lose that shame, of
Oh
like
yeah.
people are
See,
watching me and this is uncomfortable.
my family's not born with
Oh,
shame
man.
genes, though. I'm very lucky.
You are
We
lucky as hell.
don't possess those.
Oh man,
So,
congratulations.
so I'm good. Like,
Right.
believe me, I'm already thinking to the end where Star Trek. I kind of want to go to the aquarium just because of the one Star Trek movie.
Amazing.
God.
Like, feels,
It was a good
like,
Star Trek movie though. It really was.
I love that.
kinda-
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I kind of want to though,
Star Trek 4 was nuts.
and because it's like such a deep cut that like if you know when
Yeah.
I'm doing it,
The
so it's
journey
like,
home. Yeah.
yeah, it would be funny.
Get an exact
we'll see.
change joke in there.
No, just a general aquarium. We have a big aquarium here in
No,
Seattle.
no, no.
Well,
I'm saying in Star Trek 4: The Journey Home. One
oh
of
no,
the
no.
jokes
Somebody
is
was
they get-
asking like Monterey
Oh, I
Bay or
see.
just a general aquarium. Like I can go up to Seattle and go to their big aquarium there, which is actually very nice. Actually, I've been there a couple of times. Matter of fact, when I was at Wizards one year, we did a Christmas party there.
Nice. Thank you,
Yeah.
Christmas 666 for hanging out. 3 Street.
Wizards
streams in a
actually
row.
takes care of people for the Christmas parties. We did one there. One year I was there. We were at the Space Needle. They rented out the top of it or whatever. Like
Nice.
some fun stuff. Yeah.
So I'm in a bit of a so much a moral quandary, but certainly one that it's a distasteful quandary. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let's put it this way. So I found a YouTube channel that I thought was pretty cool, and what it does is it takes 3 different AIs and it says, "Make me this video game. Make me a Mario Kart in a browser," and it does it with ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and whatever.
Yeah.
And he does it like I'll give each one like an hour or sometimes 20 minutes, and they just do the best they can go. And it's kind of funny and silly, and it's got its own little charm or whatever. I thought that was cool. I was watching a few of his videos, and it basically occurred to me at this point, you AI can be a game programmer. I don't
Yeah.
think they're replaced any artists, but we're talking like it can write functions to do game design the way I could tell it to do game design. So is it where on the spectrum of, I know the internet just hates AI period, but where on the spectrum is I told the AI how to build the game engine, and if it's it's just blocks moving around or whatever, but I told it what to do and how, is that bad? You know what I mean? Like for me to prototype a game by having the game programming being done by AI.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, still
go ahead.
probably.
Probably what?
that it is bad. But like it's not horrific.
Yeah, it's in the weird space because you do still have to have an understanding of coding to be able to, tweak it and get it to do the right things and all this stuff. But I don't know. I think we're going to be seeing over the next few years, AI is going to be used for a lot of shortcutting for a lot of people,
Well, let me tell you,
whether we like it or not.
I've spent a few days hanging out with some AI buddies. You don't need to know shit about programming to do this.
Yeah.
Absolutely
yeah.
zero. I mean, like not like 0, but like close to zero as possible. I
Yeah.
literally just say I'm a dummy. I have no idea what I'm doing, and it'll be like,
Yeah.
click here, paste this,
Right.
do that.
Oh,
hit this
sure.
button,
The
go.
point, yeah, Evan, you're saying that like that's good.
Well, I'm saying that like
No,
in
but
terms of a tool to make a prototype for a game design, you
Sure.
don't need to
Sure.
know anything about
Yes.
programming.
yeah, but what I'm saying is when you want to try to get to the finished product, like you have to understand code to fix it, correct
Right.
it.
Right.
You
I'm
know,
not saying this is finished
the-
product
yeah,
stuff. I'm not saying
yeah,
you're
yeah.
necessarily selling this on Steam. I'm saying I got an idea for a game.
To get
I
to
used
get
AI
a
to get the prototype to exist. Does
Yeah,
that
right.
make
To
me a
get-
bad person that I did that? Does that?
I would say no.
No, because
I would say no because you weren't going to spend that money anyway.
exactly, and you weren't going to be able to sell that regardless. You still got to get
Yeah.
to the finish line
Sure.
for a finished product that you
Right.
probably have to refine on some level.
The thing you're making is like a what we would call a spec script,
Yeah,
or what we
basically.
would call like a practice.
Right.
As long as whatever you are doing doesn't anything connected to what that is doesn't end up making the final product. As long as there's no, as long as you ship of Theseus it and actually turn it into something real, then that seems fine to me.
Now, I will say I've watched two different things with AI recently that I thought were amusing. One of them is they took, I believe it was the 6 most popular AI programs and had them effectively play a game of werewolf or mafia or whatever you want to call it. And it was very, very interesting of like how they were logicking and trying to like want to, and it wasn't quite humanish. Like you could tell if I was playing with humans, I think there's a way I could manipulate this decision or I could get out of trouble with this.
Sure.
But with just straight up computer logic, and they were all trying to use each other's logic, knowing what each other was capable of.
Right.
It was kind of interesting.
I'm gonna need you to link that video somewhere
Yeah.
so I can watch that. 'Cause that sounds
It's
awesome.
a pretty long video, but it breaks down like each decision they make. It kind of
Oh, I
cuts
love that
away
shit.
and lets it do its own thing of explaining why it was choosing certain things or whatever. But then they also did, and I watched a Doug Polk video on that. As a matter of fact, I just finished the last of it earlier, where they had the AIs play a poker tournament.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like there's a lot they don't understand still. Like that was the first thing. Like you saw from the very first
Yeah.
match of like them trying to understand the logic in the middle of the hand and why something should or shouldn't be done. And sometimes it has trouble processing like flushes versus straights for some reason. Like there was some weird things in there, but it was just interesting because we've seen like AI play chess, right? So it's like, okay, well now we add a more complicated thing with layers of decisions. Like, can it do this in a game without perfect information? And it was definitely a bit more difficult for them, but it was cool to see. I mean, again, it's AI. I know people hate it, but I think from a process of what are they capable of, how do they process information, between the two projects, it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, for what I've been sort of playing with a bit over the last week or so, it's just like, is this even remotely doable, possible? Will it actually make a thing that does the stuff, and it makes a thing that does the stuff?
I mean,
and
as long
it's
as you're
pretty damn
using
good.
it, as long as you're using it like a batting cage, right? You're using
Sure.
it like a practice dummy.
Basically.
I don't think it's particularly harmless. Like, I think it's particularly. I don't think it's particularly harmful.
Right, and
I
I'm
would
not-
still,
you know-
I will still never do it, and I will still judge you for doing it. I still think you are a worse artist who is going to end up with a worse product, but I don't think you're a bad person. Do you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get
Like
it.
I will, so for example, if I saw that your game was made with, organic non-GMO products, but then in the testing of the product you had tested on animals, then I would still judge it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like I appreciate that you've cut out the chaff in the final product, and that you got there in a way that I would have preferred you didn't get there. but I'm on my high horse. Like, I will never use artificial intelligence, large language model modeling for anything ever. I just simply will not do it. But I'm a lily-livered, yellow-bellied liberal who is a full-time artist who believes that the human mind is a unique and beautiful snowflake that should not try to be replicated. We should be using AI to empty our garbage and to clean our toilets, not trying to create art and music.
And what I would argue is that A, I don't think it's as bad as doing things to animals, but B, I would say that for me, it's like, can AI write a function that does a thing to put data from A to B the way I tell it to?
Can it do it?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's more or less what I'm describing most of the time. I'll do a thing. Hey, this is supposed to be here, but it's not, and it says, okay, copy paste this, and then it's fixed. I don't know how evil that is. I'm not trying to be. I just felt like, wow, this is incredible, and I'm just, I don't know.
It doesn't sound evil.
Not trying to be. I'm just like, I don't know where the line is. I'm just trying to find the line so I don't come out like some supervillain. I'm just like, I thought this was cool, and I just
you're not a supervillain. You're not a supervillain. You're simply using something a supervillain made.
Okay.
Which is different, right?
I mean, sure.
Like, I bought this.
There's people still buying Teslas.
Exactly. That's a great.
If you want to link there.
That's a good. But even more mundane than that. It's it's not even just buying Teslas. It's like, I've gone to Lowe's.
Sure.
Yeah, the Tesla argument is tough because I wouldn't get one because I just don't want to support Elon Musk and his conquest or whatever. So it's its own thing. But if somebody does want an electric vehicle, sadly, because we have a bunch of embargoes and stuff, and we won't let China put them over here or whatever, like, the Teslas are still some of the better and more affordable EVs for a lot of people to get their hands on, especially now that there's some showing up in the used market. So, like, I get why people want them and do it. I still wouldn't personally for a whole variety, not even just from a moral standpoint. Like, they're just, from everything I've read, they're not as good as some of the others, and it's worth spending that extra like 8K or 10K or whatever to get the other ones. Mm-hmm. But I get how people end up in those situations. It's just tough.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, and for me, I was just dabbling. I mean, I was just looking, and I was just like, because one of the things that got on YouTube was just like, ChatGPT is the worst, and then Grok, and then Gemini, which is Google's, and then Claude. I don't know who Claude is ran by, but Claude is unreal, by the way. That AI that thing blew my mind in ways that none of the others did. Like, it's insane. It's like creepy.
However,
it's also the most expensive.
In the videos I've linked, Claude is not as good at replicating human things. So Claude is very good at doing technical stuff.
Programming, it was sick.
Exactly.
It was sick.
Great at that, but when you like, hey, what's your opinion on this thing? Or how do I find such and such? Or it struggles.
Yeah, I was just like, make this thing go over here and destroy this thing, man.
Yeah, that
fucking aces.
Yeah.
It was great.
So that's also a little bit interesting too, as you get into those different scenarios, which is why I've been watching his videos, is to even understand what are the different companies prioritizing and which ones potentially get used for different things in the future.
Right.
Because some are going to end up, like Ruben was saying, in more household stuff or helping with medical stuff or doing these cool, amazing things. And others are going to be like, we just want to build this insane stuff to make people's life cost more. Right? Like, and that's what some are going to be there for, sadly. So it's kind of interesting checking all that.
Yeah, it's definitely been neat and fun. And again, it's just about sort of like the tools in the toolbox of what you're trying to get done. It's like, I want, for example, at one point I was like, I want a list of every CCG that's come out since 1993, and finding that information is remarkably difficult. Because it's on like 4 different websites that all use 4 different ways of showing and indexing information. We use sometimes JavaScript, sometimes APIs, and like trying to find out how to get that information and ways to use Python, for example, to scrape that data. That's a way that has worked for me currently.
There's a TCG Wikipedia that's actually pretty solid. Because I've looked for stuff on there and it's like, oh, this is actually fairly accurate.
Right, and they're all, but sometimes it's like, is that really a TCG? And was it, did it release big enough to make an impact? And whatever, I don't care. The point was, I was like, I want this information, and it's like, it ain't on the internet. You want to figure out how to get it together yourself. And so that was the thing that was to write me a function to do that. So that was kind of rad.
To Peter J's point, saying Tesla's chokehold on the EV market is ending soon. A lot of good EVs overseas. Yeah, it's like, it's not just a Tesla thing though. It's a U.S. automotive market thing.
Man, if
Like,
they ever let the Chinese EVs over here, it is
Bro.
over.
Like,
it is Jover. It is done.
Dude, like
GG.
I saw one. They were showing even the suspension on it
Oh, they're
over
so
like
sick.
it had
So sick.
offset speed bumps. That thing didn't even look like it was moving.
Bruh.
Like you saw the wheels of it, but the chassis solid. I'm just
Man.
like, man, they would crush every U.S. car
Like,
manufacturer.
comes with that auto drive for free. You ain't gotta pay no $6,000 a Tesla or
not
whatever
just
for
that,
it.
they have the extras you get for no
Oh,
bonus cars.
right.
By the way, these
It's
are like
insane.
stock or just like, oh yeah, I could like double tap my door and it opens or whatever. Just
Dude,
insane stuff
it's
for
nuts.
no good reason.
Right, like
They all
stuff
have,
like remote
little-
start and all that other crap they try to
they
charge
have
for these
coolers
days.
in the car, like
Hell
a bunch
no.
of wireless charging, like
Bruh.
surround sound, extra like they have tinting that goes off and on for your roof glass or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, these are luxury vehicles for like 20K. You know, like
I know. They're
they would
crazy
just crush
affordable.
everything.
They would crush everything. Even if they did some
Everything.
markup, they would be stupid. Like, it'd be nuts.
Oh yeah, even if they came here with like a 60% tariff on them,
Sure.
like still would be
32K
some
or
of the-
whatever.
yeah, still be some of the cheapest cars
You'd bite on that.
and be some of the best. Hell, you could double the price and you'd still be at the price of what we're paying for some stuff here.
You get close.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and you're getting so much more, dude.
Yeah,
A robot snowplow for highways. That's probably not too far in the future, actually.
it's not the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's probably not far off.
Yeah. If let's see, what was this? I think it. What was that? Dang it! What was that here? I'm trying to find that little channel if somebody's curious and wants to go check it out, because I thought it was cool. You know, and the guy makes good videos. They're cute and they've got little, meme references and stuff. He does his best.
Oh yeah, okay. I have a rant because we're probably not going to get this on the show for any reason, so I'll put it here. But people have to stop comparing everything. Like comparisons become the thief of joy for too many people.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm seeing it in YouTube comments. I'm seeing it on TikTok videos, whatever. Like somebody's just on there dancing, and one of the first comments is like, "Oh, well, you're not as good as so and so," and I'm just like, "But can't both people just be good?"
Right? Can they be
Like,
all right?
This is like, well, LeBron sucks because Michael Jordan existed, or Jack Nicklaus is trash because Tiger Woods existed, or it's like, no, they're both still really good.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we can both enjoy different types of food or different types of games, and like they can just be equally fun. Like, I remember when I first moved up here, I went to a pho spot because I've heard the Asian food was great, which turns out if you go to the Pacific Northwest, all the Asian food is freaking amazing.
That's great.
But so I go out to one. It's a little mom and pop shop. Great, right? Best pho I've had. I go to work, tell everybody, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't even go to the good one." I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm from Texas, and mid-sized town, and we had one pho spot, and it was average, right? So I go to the good one, and I'm like, okay, like I mean, if it's better, it's so marginal that I'm just like, I don't know. These are both good. Like, why are we dogging the other place? Like, I don't know. It's just weird how we get like that. It's just like, man. It's okay for two things to be both good. Like we don't
They
have
can both
to.
be okay.
Yeah, we don't have to rank and compare every single thing. Like it's one thing. I get it when you're doing it for content and you're like, we're gonna rank all the Final Fantasy games or whatever. Fine, it's a bit. But like, if you like 7 and somebody else likes 4, all right, fine. I'm not gonna dog you for liking 4.
Right.
Like it's weird.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, well, I do understand that, and it makes me sad. But either way,
Yeah.
meh. I linked the guys. Hollow Wolf is the guy. He goes by. Hollow
I've heard
Wolf.
of her. I've never watched any of his stuff though. I've heard somebody mention he must do a lot of like informative type videos because I feel like somebody else has mentioned them before.
Oh well, I don't know. I just thought it was cool, and it's funny though because I was like, the disdain for AI is definitely amongst the youths because I have a 14-year-old. And I was like, hey, check out this thing. Even this guy made that, games of the AI and against each other, see how good they are. And he was like, it's AI. He's like, I don't like it. And I'm like, all right.
Good.
I will say
Good
that
for them.
Yeah.
for as much as people want to dog the up and coming younger generations, they are the ones that want to be are actually more in tune with things just going on in the world than we ever were. Right?
Oh my God, they got constant bombardment. I can't even imagine my 14-year-old brain.
Yeah, and I've talked to several of them, just in the neighborhood or whatever, and like they know what's going on. Like they're watching stuff, they're talking about things, like so they're not as clueless as everybody makes it. Now, I think our generation kind of started the idea of like we're not going to follow social norms and we're going to have fun the way we want to have fun, and like F you if I want to be a 50-year-old and dress in my cosplay, I'm gonna do it,
Right,
right?
right.
But I think they're just taking that to the nth degree, and everybody goes, "See, they're idiots," and it's like,
Yeah.
well, they're being kids, But when it's
Right.
time to get serious, they understand what's going on.
Yeah, I think that there's more of a cultural divide than there is an age divide as it pertains to
Sure,
AI.
sure.
Because, on the one hand, college students are using AI to take notes, and
Hmm.
people want to use large language models in order to check against what the large language model checker that is on like LinkedIn
Yeah,
and job market and stuff like that, because the companies are using that, so you got to fight fire with fire, so you got to at least learn the language. There's something different.
Well, let me tell
dude,
you.
my phone actually, I noticed this yesterday, will let me take a transcript of the phone call, and it can send me a recording and or a written transcript if I want it.
Well,
Nice.
I can tell you, at colleges all over the United States, they are desperately trying to make AI classes right now. All of
Yeah,
them.
of course. Of
The
course.
deans are like, you have to have a AI course in your different like school, colleges, whatever, how they set them up, like everywhere. They're all just scrambling to just get something AI, whatever, in there, even if the instructors themselves don't exactly always know, the professors don't always know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, but it seems silly not to have one right now.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of
Like whether you're
to,
for or against it, like
Right.
it's a key part of the world in
Right.
science or whatever that you have to at least offer the basics of understanding of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I think that this is hopefully, ideally, in my mind, untenable in the long term. But while we're here, we
Sure.
do have to ride the current, and we do have
Yeah.
to play along. So,
I think there will always be some level of AI. Like the genie's not going back in the bottle,
Mhm.
right? At this point, like people have already learned things they can do with it and how to utilize it, whatever.
Mhm.
But I think on the scale that we're at, trying to ramp up to it and include it in every single thing and do it, like that probably isn't tenable. I don't think. I think that's like again, we've talked about it before. It's like we're putting all these resources into it, but at what point does it actually generate enough money to realize that cost?
Well, your problem is
I-
that the instant that happens, everything kind of changes. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Like once
But-
you tip that scale of it is now cheaper to do this and have this happen than real people. Oh God.
Yeah, but I just again, and I don't know if it's hopeful thing or whatever, but like everything I've seen and people have written about and everything try to break it down, like I don't even know if you could get the cost back. We're talking trillions of dollars that are starting to go in, are going to over the
crazy.
next couple of years.
They're just
Yeah.
trying to erase
Like-
people. That's all they're trying to do.
Yeah,
Right.
I just don't know where you get the return on it.
yeah, I don't know
Right.
either.
If it was a few hundred million or something, I'd be like, okay, I get my head around that. But when you're talking trillions, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
there's no return. There's no
Yeah.
growth without a goal is cancer. And this is just
Yeah,
that
basically.
again. That's
This is
just
just late stage capitalism.
That's what this is again.
We're back to late stage capitalism, everybody. We figured it out.
It's kind of when we
Yeah.
had the unregulated housing market situation.
It's like the
right? People-
final form of late
People were
stage
just buying
capitalism.
each other's loans regardless if they were bad or good and trying to get write-offs somewhere. But at some point, something's got to be covered, right? Like, and when those came to pay, we saw a lot of companies and businesses shutter because they couldn't afford the debt, And we're kind of going to be in that same situation again.
It's getting closer. More and more and more of the OpenAI, partners are getting pretty skittish. And they're
Well,
like,
of course,
maybe
because
we
at some
shouldn't.
point you're like, hey, we've been putting money in this damn thing for 8 years. Like, at what point, because there's no business in the world right now where you could have investors constantly just turning on the money spigot for 5 years, much less 8 or 9 years,
Has
and not
DoorDash
expect
actually
the
gotten a
return.
profit yet? Or Uber? I can't remember. One of them is still,
But the thing is,
middling.
you could make an argument there though that you're like, hey, there's a revenue stream, right? Like we can at least
Right.
manipulate a belief of like, okay, we can do these things to make enough money. But right now, nobody like the biggest thing and the only one who's ahead of anything is, I believe, Meta, and they're using it mostly to make more in advertising.
And I mean, it's not like OpenAI isn't making any money. It's just that they're making this amount versus
Well,
the
yeah, 'cause
infinite dollars they're spending.
Exactly, they're burning like $100 million a month or whatever. It
Right,
is,
like
like
they're
some
making money.
ungodly
It's
amount.
just, dear
Yeah.
God, not even close to what they're spending, man. It's crazy. So that's wild.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. And that's why I tell people, like, that my first thought was, oh, okay, they're just building this to replace all us humans in the workplace and whatever. And then the more I thought about it, well, there's a lot of things that necessarily aren't going to be best for machines, and then you'd still have to have people to take care of the machines and whatever. So I get it, but now it's just okay. What's your long-term play?
Do
Right?
y'all know exactly what happened, or somebody in the chat, please? Does anybody know exactly what happened with this secret layer thing? I keep hearing about this secret layer
Okay.
chaos vault thing. What the hell did
I
they
assume
do?
we'll talk about it on the show at some point, but
Well, no, I had to plan on it, but I didn't want to like sort of speak without knowing what the hell I'm talking about.
Okay,
Like I
right.
know it's a
Basically-
thing, and I know it went bad. I don't know what happened.
basically here's the thing. WotC put up a thing. They were gonna launch a secret layer as their Chaos Vault, whatever.
What does that
Which
mean?
was weird because it was like 4 cards that aren't really anything. I think it was like Nature's Lore, Dryad Arbor,
Oh, it was that little like collection.
Wood
thing I
Elf,
saw.
and something else. Like
Yeah.
4 wood themed things, but it wasn't whatever. Most expensive card I think was like, if you get the most expensive version of it, I think it's like $5. So there's nothing there really. But then they put up the option for you to buy it at 5 price points. Not basically $10, $20, $30, $35, and $40.
Okay.
And everybody jumped immediately to, oh, this is a money grab and they're trying to see how much we'll spend or whatever. But my two thoughts are that can't be accurate because one, we already have secret layers that are $35 and $40, so whatever.
Right.
And people would just buy the cheapest ones first anyway.
Right.
So I don't really understand.
So like, correct me if I'm wrong. The cheap ones sold out immediately. And
I
later
think they
on-
just took them down. Like I don't even think they all had a chance to sell out. They're all listed as no longer available right now. Like they're not even sold out. They just took them down, and I think they put an apology on the Tuesday video that they do.
Well, that
on
was
their
what I was
stream.
saying. Someone did a
Yeah.
big write up on Reddit where they kind of like,
Yeah.
dictated everything they wrote there, and they said the Chaos Vault was to experiment early bird pricing model / discount. She can see how looking. And this is the person who's in charge of it. She can see how looking at the website it doesn't look great. Intentions were good, man. Wizards
the
and
thing
good
is-
intentions, man. Those people, man. Chocolate.
No, I
peanut
mean,
butter.
even if they did, though, it's like the early bird thing doesn't matter and doesn't do anything in this case because it's not like early bird things work on Kickstarter because you're trying to pump your numbers so people see that you met your goal and then they're excited and they want to come do a thing. But then, oh, you missed out. You got to pay more for this other one because it's going to be running for 45 days or whatever. Like,
right.
if things work the way they work, how they have been, this shit's going to be sold out in like, for hell, a day anyway. So like early bird pricing doesn't do anything.
Right. Or that's
You know what I
sell
mean?
Or it's not kind of.
Yeah, that's sort of my thing. So I'm like, what's the point, right? I don't think it was a money grab. I don't think it's that because the numbers don't make sense, right? If you're gonna have a bunch of $10 and $20 ones, you'd have to sell some exponential number of like higher cost ones to balance out all the cheap ones you sold or whatever. So you make almost the same amount of money.
Right.
So like that doesn't make any sense. But even as a pay as you want model, like some companies have done, like that doesn't really make sense either because they all come with the exact same thing. So, Magic players are just going to get the cheapest one that's up right now and available, right? That doesn't do anything. So, I don't know. There was some idea, somebody signed off on it. Makes zero sense to me. I literally thought about it for like 2 days and I'm like, I cannot come up with a single reason
Literally, as
why
you just
you would've
explained it,
done
I'm
this.
like, what the fucking what? Whose big PowerPoint was that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
guys,
All I know, if
got
I'd have
it.
been still at whether somebody would have shown that to me, I would have just stood up in the meeting and said no.
This is not.
And then we would have argued about it.
Right.
You're like, and I've done that before.
I mean, yeah, you're in a big room with a bunch of smart people. It's gonna take a minute.
Hey, fun story. When do you remember the what was it called? Game night, the hexagon box that had like the
Yeah.
5 different decks in it or whatever.
Yeah.
I was in the meeting, one of the meetings when that first got presented, and boy, was it going to have a higher price point. And I literally said no in the meeting. And we had fortunately, one of the other people backed me up because I was like, I'm probably going to be on an island by myself here. And I literally gave a whole spiel on like, if you're going to place it with board games, this is what the average board games are priced at. This is this thing. This is what Settlers goes for, which you can go to the same people, blah, blah. Like, and eventually, when they came back with the second round of it, it had the correct price point on it. That's why they were able to sell it for like $40 or whatever it was.
Nice.
Like, I stopped that train, just so y'all know.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You got to rein them in sometimes. You're like, okay,
Honestly,
let it go, let it
and
go.
I'm not going to say this is just a Wizards problem,
No,
because I'm sure it happens everywhere. But I think too many people are afraid to do their job. And they're off. They're afraid of backlash. They're afraid of being fired. They're afraid of being attacked or not included in future stuff or whatever. And I will say this, at Wizards, I never experienced that. Not for speaking up or anything. I feel like there was one or two issues here or there, but corporate stuff, whatever. But I don't think it was ever for doing my job and speaking up. But I watched people. I don't know if I ever told this story actually when Chris Cox first took over because I was there during the transition, and he obviously didn't know everybody in the office, so he did these things called board game lunches, and he picked like I think it was like Exploding Kittens or whatever that game is, and he just went through the list randomly of employees, and he would invite like 6 to 10 to just come in, play games, eat lunch. He paid for it, whatever. And he just asked you about your job, what you do for fun, what do you not like about the office or whatever. Oh, my fire alarm's going off. That's great.
Oh, crap.
No, it's probably somebody just in the kitchen. It'll be fine.
Well,
If it's still on like a minute, I'll yell. But the issue was that he would ask, like, is there anything you don't like about your job? And I knew there was somebody in my particular grouping that had a thing they wanted to gripe about. And they were just like, no, everything's great. And I'm like, this is the dude that if anything's going to change,
if someone has the power,
tell this guy, right?
Yeah.
And even after that meeting, I looked him dead and I said, I don't want to hear you bitch ever again. Right? You don't get to complain if the dude at the top is like, hey, I'm giving you a chance to speak your piece. And you don't say nothing. And honestly, out of the whole group, only me and one other person said anything. Everybody else was just like, no, everything great. It's fine. I like my job.
No, you know what? And I haven't told this story. And this happened many years ago now, but I was in a similar situation, not quite as broad, honestly, where someone was having a problem with somebody else. And they were having issues, and they had clear examples as to why they didn't like the way they were being treated, and the way they were being spoken to, and all this other stuff, and how it should be different. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And I get person A and person B together, and I'm like, okay, let's talk. And then person A is like, oh, everything's okay. And I'm just like,
yeah, see that I've had that happen before
like,
at the store. No, that
was I in that meeting?
Oh,
was
no,
I?
no,
Was
no,
I?
was,
Okay, I was like, this is vaguely
not you, Ruben.
familiar.
I'm not being vague.
No.
on you.
I was trying to. I was like half
different.
paying attention and was like, is this?
I've had that happen before. That one, that almost set me off.
It messed with me. Honestly, it messed with me bad. There's never a point in time in which I
Yep.
felt like it was very clear what was wrong and how we could fix it. We needed to explain it and talk about it. I made the forum to do so, and they just decided not to do anything at all.
Yep.
And then I look like some weirdo because I made this meeting or whatever.
Yeah,
so we can sit
exactly.
down and talk about it. She's like, Evan, what'd you do this for? And I'm like, I guess I'm a fucking moron. I don't know.
Nah.
Shit, dude. That was weird. That was really weird. That happened a few years ago, but that was really odd. So not everyone who you think can, stand the confrontation can stand the confrontation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that's sadly happens at way more jobs than people think about.
I'd agree with that.
And so when people look and say, like we're talking about with the secret layer thing, how did this get here and who signed off on this and blah blah, like somebody in the channel probably should have said something and just went, "No, I'm gonna let it ride." Right?
Yeah, there's been times, and it's been a minute since I told this story, but there was definitely times in which I would speak up when A, I was given a position of power, and B, something was not working. Like my example was when I was at SCG, we were putting a whole bunch of development time, which means a lot of dollars, into developing a system where we could have basically online sales on site at shows, where you could have like a separate inventory and use sales through like iPads and stuff, and all this stuff is very pie in the sky and super rad, incredibly way ahead of its time, and so on. That just meant we wasted a whole lot of time because we couldn't make it work with the technology that we had. And at one point I had to sit there and be like, we have to stop. This is not working. I'm sorry we put 15 grand or whatever plus in development, but it ain't doing it, and we gotta stop. And so I'm sure I look like an asshole, but I'm not going to waste the company's time and money if I can't help it when I know it's not getting anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm in charge of it, like, yep, that fallacy is not going to get me, man.
I dealt with something like that at Card Kingdom because they were trying to, especially as they were opening another store in another state, was how do you balance inventory from what's being bought at one place and is available, and like, can people that order from this store still get stuff in a 24-hour period? And like, that was a whole thing they had to work on. Fortunately, I just gave like the retail perspective on some stuff. The rest was for like technical fancy people to figure out. I'm like, ain't my job. I'm just giving you my perspective from being a retailer.
I had programmer summits and shit, man. I'm telling you, I went to the wall on, we're going to have this really cool digital solution to sell cards at shows, and it just didn't get there, man. I tried.
No, the toughest one I dealt with was actually for the companion app. Actually, I was the one who brought that up to Wizards, actually. When
Okay.
I don't know if I ever told y'all, they had these things. I can't remember what they called them, but basically it was always a panel of 3 directors or higher that just basically sat in the giant meeting room like all day, and you could ask to be on the docket to present.
Yeah, you've told us
idea.
about this.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And after that, it was, now I will tell you, to even get to that point, I had to do this whole like survey with retailers, this whole thing to just prove how much money they were losing or whatever, or wasting. And then they decided to move forward with it. And that was the craziest thing, because just having to read through the technical jargon that they wanted, because I presented it, they wanted me to be part of the process. And I'm like, bruh, I don't.
Yeah.
You know,
that's like, no. I want the idea. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, look, if you want input for what it should have, great. I can work on that all day. But like the innards,
I can tell you what the final dish is going to be, but I can't farm.
Dude, I literally, over a weekend, I sat with my laptop and just going through this thing of like, what does this term mean? And what is it? I literally did that for like 8 hours over a weekend.
Is that if you're building a video game and you didn't know how to program it, but you could explain
no, not even that, because that wouldn't even work there, because the goal was they had reached out to, I think it was 5 companies.
Oh, I know.
Maybe it was 6.
I was just making a silly.
Yeah. It was 5 or 6 companies, and then they ended up submitting their proposals, I guess, with like their wireframes and other stuff. And I'm like, okay, man, I got to go through all these files for each company, and I'm like, this is miserable. Like, I mean, like, I appreciated the gesture of what they were trying to do, but I was just like, oh, why am I even involved in this part?
Yeah,
like whatever.
Yeah,
but it was cool to see that like 3-4 years later, you know, they got like 80% of what I wanted in there, so it's all right.
Gotta be careful what you wish for, man.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I have other things to do. Why am I involved in this?
Exactly. Why am I here still?
But their goal was, they did want somebody from like the 6 major departments that are involved with it, I think, touching it and be part of the process. So I kind of get it.
The 3 punchlines I wrote this week are 3 of my favorite punchlines I've ever written. The punchline I gave Power Dragon might be my favorite joke I've ever written.
Oh, good.
Okay.
It is so clean.
Then I won't freestyle as much on that one. I'll try to read it.
It is such
that
a
SCG
clean...
one you did that one time.
I don't remember which one.
You remember what it was like? Is it some sort of like pun? It was about like cutting authors and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was so sick. Something about periods and slashes or semicolons or something.
Yeah. I forget what it was.
It was brilliant. It was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. This is on that level.
Nice.
Let me tell you, you may not be a fan of companion app, but it is light years better than what we've had before.
It's so much better. I know it has issues, seriously, but
and I get it. Like, for people, and this happens a lot, right? If you hadn't experienced what existed before, you don't know how far we've come. like if you've ever been to a Grand Prix with 2,000 people, and you have to break into groups of 5 and funnel your, like, whatever, 600 people are down an aisle to look at a board to see what your pairings are. Like, or you've judged or organized an event and you got to go outside and get all the smokers back in because the pairings are up or whatever. Like, that just not being a thing anymore. Events run so much smoother now. Like, people have no idea how just fluid things are now, and they were not like that in the past. It literally was hurting people. Like, honest truth. You were hurting people.
Yeah, it was
crazy. That's true. And all the match slips, I agree. That I'm so glad to be done with that.
I found it. Ruben, I found it.
What is it?
All right, here's the setup. The setup is Kamigawa Neon Dynasty is the wordiest Magic set of all time. With an average of more than 189 words per front side, the newest Magic release has edged out Kaldheim and taken the new top spot. Magic is getting wordier and nerdier, but there's only so much room on each card's real estate. So tell me, what's the next frontier for verbose verbiage? And my punchline was, lots of words is exciting, but we can get more. We can get denser, more involved, even more complicated. Why waste time? Say lot word when few word do trick. So my idea is to cut all of the thes, a's, and ands from future printings, basically to do to the cards what SEG did to their website, just remove the articles.
Oh yeah, remove the articles.
Woo!
Oh,
Yep,
I forgot
yep.
about remove the articles.
Oh my god, that
Yeah,
was so
that's
sick.
a sicko
That was
punchline.
that's all timer, dude.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Shit, I
good.
still remember. I was like, man, remember that? What was that joke? we did about
Remove the articles
That's
is great.
good.
And honestly,
Dude.
Power Dragon, your punchline is a spiritual cousin to that one.
Okay.
Because
All
the
right.
setup points you in one direction, and then it is a literary joke as the
Gotcha.
punchline.
That is almost to the day 5 years old. It was
Yeah,
on
I forgot about remove the articles.
February 10th, 2021. Everybody.
Yeah, that's a sicko.
That
That's
was a
real
great
good.
one.
But
Yeah,
all
that's
three
true.
of our punchlines are high quality today. I took the controversial one. I gave Evan an Evan-centric one, and then the one that is sort of more generic, but honestly the strongest joke is Power Dragons.
Okay. No, and that is true. People not reporting in the opinion of the round is a problem. You know, I mean, human issue, sadly.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, the other trade-off is when we had match slips, you'd have some people who didn't report, and then some people that did, but reported incorrectly. So then that was a hassle to try to fix every time that happened. Or somebody signed it but didn't mark the matchup, so then somebody else put different numbers in there and then reported that. We've had that happen at events multiple times. So just like, there's going to be some flaw. You got to take the good with the bad, I guess.
So my big news is that I did not get the job at Wizards this week.
Boo.
Yeah,
That's bullshit.
I heard back on Monday. Once again, it came down to some finalists, and my interview was fantastic, but they had somebody amazing, and they chose them over me.
I mean,
That
I
just
will
is
say
what
that,
it is.
you know, when the few times I had to sit on interview panels at Wizards, there are some ridiculous people that come through for some of the jobs,
For sure.
especially for anything that's in R&D related stuff or whatever. They get so many applicants.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I'll probably apply for this open game design position that they have.
yeah.
But like, sure, I'm a game designer, and sure, I've been playing Magic for 20 years. But like, if I don't know, someone who's been on the pro tour and made top eights and also has been a pro game designer longer than me for bigger companies than me
Yeah, it's tough.
applies, like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's tough. Like, you still put your name in the hat because you never know.
Yeah. I teach game design at a college, and
Yeah.
I've been making games professionally for 3 years, and I've
That's
been
already going
a
to put you in the
game-
top half, if not
Right.
top quarter of the
And
people
I've
who
been
apply.
game designing for 8 years. So like, and I'm gonna get a recommendation again, which is nice.
The crazy thing, and this is one thing I tried to explain to people, like, I've had to tell folks, sometimes it's better to apply for the job you don't necessarily want, but that you're qualified for to get your
Mhm.
foot in the door.
Exactly.
Because, like, even in my department, you know, dealing with the public, with retailers, whatever, there'd be a position open
Right.
and it might get like 20 applicants, right? But the R&D positions, no lie, would get like 300.
Right. Well, I thought that's what I was doing with the Duel Masters position.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
So
it's
it's
like, how
tough.
many people are gonna apply for an editor position with Duel Masters?
You never know.
How many
man.
people even know what Duel Masters is?
Plenty of people in Japan.
But there might be a lot of people
Japan.
just went, well, it's a game. I'm an editor. I'll go apply. And, you know.
Yeah, but I've played Kaijudo.
Oh, I'm aware.
Oh, I played
like
Kaijudo.
I'm with you.
Lots
Yeah.
of Kaijudo. Kaijudo was unfortunately so straightforward a game. I would often just be able to play solitaire with 2 decks.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like it was clear what you had to do every turn. It was
In
clear
my-
how to
It was-
respond.
it was
In my
Magic Light.
final
Mm-hmm.
interview, I pulled out this mouse pad that I have that I
Nice.
still use to
Nice.
this day because it's like the right size, but it's also got the
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the nice.
Did you get that while I was at
Top to
SCG?
it. Yeah, this
yeah.
was a top 8 mat that I
Nice.
got for a PTQ, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Kaijudo was very much, it felt like just Magic Light.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You know, all the basics. You have 5 colors. Blah,
so
blah, blah, you know.
in the interview, I was the guy I interviewed with was like, we've heard Magic described as like chess and Duel Masters described as poker, how would you feel about that? And I said, I don't know if I just agree that Magic is chess. Magic has too
Yeah.
much randomness and hidden information. However, Duel Masters does feel like poker, and more specifically, it feels like limit poker. It
Mm,
feels like limit poker because the battlefield is the hand you're currently playing,
yeah, yeah.
and your shields are your chips. So you're like mitigating your chip stack and making different decisions based on how big stacked or little stacked you are.
Hmm.
And I think that that was a impressive answer that got me to
Yeah,
the
I
next
could see
round
that.
pretty easily.
Yeah, that's a neat analogy.
Nice. I didn't think kaiju was bad or nothing. I just,
No, it's a good game.
No, no, no.
for me, what I remember was like they wanted me to go over it. This was back in the day when I was making the Magic Show, of course,
Mhm.
and they were like, go over it, and I did for what it's worth. But I was just like, hey, can you like send me some complete sets because I like building decks. It's my favorite thing
Yeah.
to do. And they're like, no, and I was like,
Well, that's just Wizards.
and I was just like, you don't make full sets like we don't do it for kaiju, though. And I'm like,
Well,
they're
yeah.
like, okay, can you send me some product? And they sent me a bunch of like this of the same seal deck. You know what I mean? Like the starter deck. They sent me like five of the
yeah.
same starter deck, and then five
Yeah.
of this other same starter
They
deck.
just
and I'm
don't
like,
have any money,
I'm like,
is the
that's
problem.
not helping me. I'm like, at least just send
Duel
me
Masters
booster
creative. Duel Masters marketing doesn't have a budget. So,
boxes.
like,
Yeah, no,
I can't blame them for.
it's whatever. It's
that.
I
But
mean,
yes,
it's
I
many,
agree
many,
with
many
you. It's
years ago,
annoying.
so it doesn't matter. But still, it
Yeah,
was
the other
silly.
tough part for it too is I think at least in the US timing was tough because that was also in the middle of a lot of card games that were hitting. Like
Yeah.
it felt like every month there was like three new games.
Well, there was
Most of them only lasted 3 to 6 months, but still.
oh, we should put this in maybe Splash Damage or Desperate Ravings, but the new episode of Actually that has Brian, Olivia, and Allie Beardsley on it, uh, was really excellent. If you haven't, you got
Haven't
to
watched
watch
that
it
one
if you
yet.
haven't.
Yeah.
Meg Baum was one of the question editors and question
Oh,
writers.
that's fun.
So they were not easy questions. Like they were pretty difficult Actually style questions
Okay.
for a Magic the Gathering themed episode. And one of the shiny rounds was I'm going to name an IP. You tell me whether you think that IP has a collectible card game or not.
Oh, I'd be pretty good at that, I feel like.
And it was hilarious because there were so many games in like the late 90s and early 2000s
like
for
SimCity.
Oh, for
every
sure.
game.
Yeah.
For
SimCity
sure.
was one of them. SimCity
Yep.
was one that
I
they brought
actually
up.
know that to be true.
SimCity,
Love that shit.
SimCity was one that they had a sealed pack that they opened in the
Yeah.
show.
Wow.
SimCity, and that game
for-
was not good.
No.
It was not good.
I wanted it to be good. I want every card game to be good, but man, I was
Yeah,
really
there's a
disappointed
lot.
with that one.
There were some
Other
that were,
other properties that were referenced include Austin Powers.
Yep,
Do you
also
think
had
that
one.
they're Yep, Austin Powers had
Yep.
a collectible
Yep.
trading card game.
I
And
know Harry Potter did.
Yep, Harry Potter.
Yes.
Harry Potter
Of
one
course
sucked. It was
Harry Potter
super
did.
No,
basic.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, Harry Potter was
Yeah.
not. It didn't
Everyone
really have a
played it.
resource system.
Yeah,
I,
it was
I had
very, very
actually
basic.
today, which I thought was neat, that they're going to kickstart a cyberpunk TCG,
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
like in the 2077 officially.
Yeah, I was gonna
I can
say-
see that.
Technically, they already had a Cyberpunk TCG, but
I mean,
I get
sure.
you.
You know, like Netrunner a long time ago.
Called
yeah.
Netrunner. Yeah.
Yes,
Actually,
yes.
had two
No, but the
different versions.
I
Capital
too used
C
BBS when I was a
Cyberpunk.
kid.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
like, the Netrunner stuff, the Netrunner, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go.
Yeah.
Netrunner
Yeah.
is come and gone. We loved it. Everyone liked it. I liked it. I bought this. I bought like the board game release of Netrunner, and I never played
Oh,
it never got played.
I don't think
played
I
it.
ever played that either. I sold it, but I don't think I ever played it.
I tried to bring it out a few times. There, you have to play different sides. They don't play the same.
Yeah.
I found it to be a very, very high difficult learning curve. Whoever I was with was.
I mean,
not,
I loved it.
I mean, and I would have put up with it, but the person I was with, they were trying to learn with, they didn't like it, and I was like, you can't force people to learn something if they don't
Yeah,
like
sure.
it in the first place. So anyway, we put it away and played something else. But like, yeah, that's kind of as close as I ever got because I was like, okay, you're like the hacker and you're the corporation or whatever, and you have all this
Yeah.
different stuff you can do, and it's neat. But anyway, I thought a Cyberpunk TCG was pretty cool.
Like Full Metal Alchemist had a card game.
Yeah. Oh,
was
speaking
the
of
thing.
Kickstarters, did you guys see Patrick Chapin's
Yes,
6-figure now next level
Yeah.
magic thing?
more than
That's
100K. I saw that. Yeah,
It ends like today.
he
doesn't it?
he asked me for some entries for that a while ago. He sent me the link to the Kickstarter too. So
I hope
Uh,
people learn much from it.
yeah,
I sent in a little bit.
He
for him,
wanted
so.
stories from the Pro Tour. He said,
Yeah.
"What are your 3 favorite Pro Tour stories?" And none of mine had anything to do with the game. So I hope
I
they
remember
were.
I'm
reading
saying
the first
literally the
one
story I got nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
because I think I downloaded it to read it, and I was like, okay, I could see if like I hadn't played much Magic yet,
Right.
I
That's the
probably
yeah,
would have really enjoyed it.
exactly.
But
That's what next level Magic is for and is all
yeah,
about. I remember when we were doing something with Next Level Magic 1 or
Like the
2,
like the OG release, the
the
first
OG
release.
release, the first
The
release at Star
problem,
City while I was there.
right? The problem with the first release of Next Level Magic, this isn't a problem now. I'm sure it's going to be the problem with the Kickstarter. This was many, many years ago. But the problem with that first printing was that it was bad, and the binding would fade.
Oh, the printing was
and
bad.
like
oh,
the
Yeah, yeah,
see,
yeah.
I
pages
didn't
would
have
start
the
falling
physical.
out.
I just had the
And
download.
right,
Yeah.
and if you didn't know,
I remember
many
that.
people who buy Magic singles and or Magic products are often inmates, and
Right.
I distinctly remember an inmate had written to SEG, and they were like, I was the most babyish towards this book. I treated it like it was absolute gold. I barely opened the thing so I could read it, and it still fell apart. And so, if I recall, they did send that person another copy.
Yeah.
So, but
I
the
mean,
second printing didn't have that problem, and so on.
I'm not going to get started on the prison industrial complex that
I'm not even,
has
I'm just saying
has
that's the reality.
re-legalized slavery in the United
That's
States.
reality.
I have
Everybody.
stories on shipping stuff to prisons actually from my store regularly.
Because you have to. I mean, that's part
Yeah.
of the business. It really
That was
is.
actually a thing that happened. I have a few different stories
Not a
actually
lot of
that were
people
fun.
talk about it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's a reality.
Yeah, I saw the thing on Rosewater doing like there's going to be a new game
Oh,
from
we're
Wizards. I'm
covering
like,
it. Don't worry. It's in the
yeah,
list. It's in the list. We'll
but
talk about
I
it.
don't know.
What is it?
I'm
They're going to make a new game, a new Wizards of the Coast.
Wizards
trading
has a
card
new game coming out.
Great.
but it's not mood swings. The thing that Rosewater had spoken about.
Well, we don't know what it
years.
is because it didn't say squat about it. Just like, hey,
But we have no
there's
idea what
a
it is.
there's a time you can play with them for a 4 hour window at
Huh.
MagicCon Vegas.
That's fun.
All
I mean,
right.
they made Transformers. It came and went. It wasn't the end of the world. It
They
could even be a
should they
boat.
should
Yeah,
partner.
I'm with
They should partner
HGMZ.
with
It could even
Inside
be a
Out.
boat, right? Like it could just be whatever. Like
They should make mood swings except for make it Inside Out themed.
That would make sense.
my thing is at least tell us what something, right? If you don't tell me at least what type of game it is or whatever, like I don't.
Well, they have
What are
told
we
you it's
talking about?
They have told you it's
It's
a trading card game, which is that's
okay.
information. That's information.
Sure.
That means
Like-
it's going to have randomized packs, because it's a trading card in that regard.
Yeah,
It's
and that's
probably
what
going to be
Wizards does
small
well.
enough packs that you'll be able to purchase it and or trade it with your friends, and it's probably a small enough game that you don't need every card in order to play, so you can expand your collection and so on. That's what I get out of it. I don't know
Oh,
what else.
speaking of game design, I designed a game this week. We designed a game this week. Um, and it like came out of my brain fully almost like 90% done. And then
Okay.
the game design team were now like developing it a little bit, but it is it came into existence, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it came into existence because we wanted to make a Ren Fair themed game.
Okay, you mentioned something
But
like
but I heard game you can play at Ren Fair in my head.
that.
And so I was making a game that was no cards, no board, no dice, doesn't need a table. And so that's what I designed. And it has a page and a half of rules. And we played it a little bit, and everyone's like, yep, that's it. Whatever that is, we need to keep hammering at.
Nice.
So we're going to design that. Probably pitchable by Gamma
Okay.
at the end of this month. With prototype today, I was making things out of poker chips I have and Velcro, because these are some wooden poker chips that I have, and they are sandwiched together basically.
Oh, nice.
And
Oh man,
the
the
game,
DIY game design stuff is my favorite. You can just
Dude.
buy a
Yeah.
box of like stuff or like a bag of stuff. Like
That
dice
reminds me,
and little
like-
meeples and whatever, because like it's what you need to just prototype stuff.
I actually had a game. We had the art and everything done, and we had actually put it on Kickstarter and had to take it down because I got the call from Wizards.
Mm.
So I'm like, maybe I should put that back out into the world now
There
that
you
it's a thing, right? Like,
yeah, you probably can't design games released under your own power while you're at Wizards.
I had that discussion. Like, technically could have because files and everything were all produced before I got there.
Oh, okay.
So I could have, but it would have just been a headache. So it was like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
Because if you had done literally any work of it, or even pulled up
Yeah,
the
exactly.
file and they had a record of you pulling up the file doing the so and so,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah.
But I was
Off the
just thinking
board we
about
go.
that. I still have the box. We'd already sized it up, like how to ship it and whatever. So I'm like, maybe I should revisit that. Like just because.
Well, yeah, I mean, and as soon as you were saying, Ruben, I was like, oh, you give them the things and something to do with the things. That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. We are 5 minutes out, everybody. Thanks for hanging out for the pre-show, all things pre and show, which is exciting. I'm not really expecting to talk about it, but I don't. They said in that part of the Secret Lair discussion was that 0.5% of sales are from bad actors. They never specifically use the word scalper because I don't know if that doesn't really exist. If anything, that's just someone who buys a lot of stuff
Sure.
from them. But I do think what that was referring to is the 0.5% of the people who would get around the queues. Remember those?
Yeah,
You go to this URL, or if you change this thing in your
Yeah.
cookies or whatever, you can do it. That's what I believe they're talking about there. For
Yeah.
those who are,
That I think is accurate. I think the people that are
What a-
reselling or whatever, like they're not going to know that number.
what a scalper is. I mean, you don't know if someone bought 10 copies because they want 10 copies of that card. because
Yeah,
reasons.
exactly.
Or they
Right.
just want to pull to see if they get a super cool promo card from the special bonus card or whatever the hell. Oh,
Yeah. Hell, I bought extras just because I use them for like giveaways and charity stuff or whatever, because I know they'll be worth more later. So I just tuck them away in the closet. Right. So that part, when you talk about scalpers, I'm like, I mean, they could always just put a limit, 5 per customer or whatever if they wanted to.
Oh, and apparently they did. They said
Okay.
that they limit the cart from 5 to 2. So
Okay, cool.
that in and of itself will
Yeah.
keep a lot of
That'll
people
go a
on.
long way to help.
Yeah. So, all right, we are rocking and rolling. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. Y'all on YouTube, I see y'all. I see you. Just so you know.
You have been seen.
Some on YouTube says, you know what would be nice if WotC used AI to collate their packs. They're tired of opening boxes that are the same with mythics and rares with small differences. I mean, confirmation bias exists, bro.
Yeah.
I can tell you by working at very large, organizations who open thousands of boxes every release, that shit is random as you get, man. It really is.
Dude, I have
You're looking at
literally
averages, the law of
I've
averages.
orchestrated 40 people over a weekend to open pallets of Magic cards at
Yeah.
Card Kingdom. And yeah, the numbers work out at the end.
Yeah.
That's all I can say is like they
Every
are
time.
random. Like everything, because
Right. You'll have a few extra here, a few more less
We did
there.
that
Yeah.
at Star City Games, and
Because
I
our
did
sales
also did that
team-
at Tales of Adventure. And I was just like, why don't they just send us
Just this
opened?
motion
yeah.
for 8
Our-
hours.
Just send us opened stuff, man.
The
Like,
sales team had to make basically a predictor of just like we're expecting roughly this many or whatever.
Right.
And then we just actually
Right.
confirm or not. And everything was within like 1 to 1.5 percentage
And that's how
points.
you do.
Yeah.
That's how you do pre-sales.
Yeah.
That's how pre-sales have been done.
Yeah. So
for as
they were
long
pretty
as
close.
Been magic. You know what I'm saying? Like
The only time they
percentages
couldn't-
and that's it.
Only time they couldn't is when there's new stuff like serialized cards or whatever, or like the new Japanese whatever special for it because we
You
didn't
don't
know
label-
the
you don't
drop
pre-order
rate.
those. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
but
list
that
those
was
based
that
on
was the
what
only
you get.
thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
all the rares, mythics, whatever, they did work out over the long run. I can
Right.
tell you that.
And this has happened, if there is a problem with collation, you're going to be the one to find it. It's not going to be, I bought two boxes and I didn't see so-and-so or I saw such and such twice. No. When we open thousands of boxes and we have got 10% of what we expected, that's a serious problem. And we actually talk to Wizards when the stuff like that happened because it's important that they know, and then you have to go and take the pre-orders down. You got to apologize to the customers. It's a whole goddamn thing. All right, it's 10:59. We are going to change our titles here and get up and running ASAP. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, hanging out for the pre of the show. Always fun. But yeah, they don't need AI to do that collating thing, but they do need some help with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that was unfortunate.
I have theories on that still.
sure.
Don't we all? All right, how do I change this on here? YouTube is not making it easy. Here we go, stream settings. Why are you like this, YouTube? Why are you like this?
It doesn't love you.
YouTube, man, they just made things weird and just change stuff. Also, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you go to YouTube, do you actually see your history? I had to Google the URL to
Yeah, I
find
see
my
my
game
history.
Yeah,
video.
yeah,
Okay, mine was not showing up. I don't know what's up with that.
yeah.
That freaked me out a little bit.
There's oh, remind me when we're done. There's a weird YouTube thing I do want to talk to y'all about.
All right.
Hmm.
Oh no, I see it here. Okay, I'm insane. That's what happened. I just wasn't looking in the right place. All right, 11 o'clock. Let's rock and roll, everybody. Woohoo! We are here. We are ready. I'm going to move this up here. We're going to record locally. And away we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by Manapool. Manapool.com is a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering that makes buying and selling cards easy. Their optimizer helps you get the best value when buying cards, and the team is focused on making it a great experience whether you're looking to buy a whole commander deck or selling off some extra cards. Use the promo manapool.com/promo/magicmics to get 5,000 mana. That's $5 for free while supplies last. I'm Evan Irwin. We get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts. Power Dragon.
What's up, everybody? I have to say it's about time that people are on board and understand that standard is actually good.
Standard's dope. Standard's dope. Ruben Bressler.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is one of the coolest standard I've ever seen.
It's pretty incredible. For those who missed our pre-show, patrons get access to all that extended version stuff right after the show, as well as 10 years now stuff that you can go back and check out at your leisure of what we were talking about years ago.
At your earliest convenience.
We even referenced a joke from 5 years ago in this very pre-show.
That's right.
That was awesome, and I loved it. That said, we kick it off with our first pick. Unfortunately, not the greatest of news this week. We lost an absolute legend. Kai Bude unfortunately passed, and F cancer. No one likes that. It's terrible and it's horrible. And there's been some incredible videos. There's been some great sort of write-ups and whatnot. There was a video that they posted about, Kai Bude, A Magic Life or Magic Legend, I think it was. And I couldn't make it through that video without somebody cutting onions. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy Kai was incredible.
What little I've been able to sort of notice, just like, when you read about someone for a very long time, because like by the time I made the Magic show, I've been reading about Kai for like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like I'd heard about him. He's monolithic. You know what I mean? Like he's this god among Magic players. And you're like, oh no, you don't want to meet your heroes because if he turns out to be a bad dude, it's gonna be the worst thing ever. And he's just the coolest, sweetest, most awesome guy who really showed that the top tier of pros are really awesome people. Yeah.
And if you meet some huge pricks who play Magic, they're not the best Magic players, I assure you, because the good ones don't act like that. And the best ones are even better. And Kai was unbelievable start to finish. And I am so saddened that he's gone. And I love that they renamed the Player of the Year trophy after him. Certainly deserved. But, just gone too soon. And I hate that. I can't stand it.
Yeah, I mean, he was only a couple years younger than me, actually.
Yeah, he was 47.
Yeah. Actually, I guess we're almost same age, actually. But the thing I think, if there is a good part to this, is at least we knew with enough time that people were able to celebrate him and give him his flowers while he was here, right?
Yes.
Because too often somebody finds out about a terminal thing or whatever, and then it's a couple of months later and they're not even able to travel, and then we find out they passed, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been pretty lucky as Magic players to be in a situation where some of our pillars, our captains or whatever, we've known, and with Sheldon, kind of the same situation of we knew it was coming and we got to have that moment. And just like you're saying, we got to name the trophy after him. People got to make their tribute videos, got to write up, people got to visit him, and that's a really nice thing. It is also sad though that we also have this realization, and we talked about this when some of the artists started passing, that Magic started almost 35 years ago now, right? Yeah. Some people were already older when the game started. Like we're reaching the point where we're gonna start losing some of our celebrities and some of our artists and some of our community leaders because Father Time's undefeated, as they say, and it sucks. But I'm glad that we at least got to celebrate them. The tribute video was awesome. Even as coincidentally, it was on the weekend of the Pro Tour. Like so, Kai has good timing, I guess, of all things. So yeah, it was sad, but it was at least nice to celebrate them more than be shocked and cry over them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I all three of us got the opportunity to meet Kai. And you say that you shouldn't meet your heroes, and then you meet Kai and you go, well, there's always an exception to the rule because he was always patient and kind. When you know you're the best, you don't mind other people getting better. And that was his deal. He would uh, stop after matches and say, maybe you want to block this way, or he would say, maybe you want to add this to your deck. And he was also hilarious. We've all told a bunch of stories about his sort of dry German wit. Getting roasted by Kai is an honor. And he's an incredibly indelible part of this sport and this game, and he will. I mean, there's no way for us to not miss him.
To put stuff in perspective for people, like he's from a period of time where most stuff was literally like a two-horse race. When you're talking about him and Finkel,
Pretty much.
right? Like, we're not gonna probably ever have that again. Like the learning curve is just so accelerated and the quality
yeah,
of player everywhere is so much higher, right? It's gonna be really hard to have that again. But to be in that moment of literally like one of these two guys is gonna be in the top eight, right? One of these two guys is probably gonna win the tournament, right? Like
Right.
that's crazy to even think about a period of time where that was true. Now it's like, oh, well, any of these 10 dudes can win the tournament, or any of these 4 or 5 guys are probably going to be in the top eight.
Right.
But that wasn't a thing all the time. It was Kai was leading the pack and Finkel was right behind him.
Yeah, and I know this it might come off a little more, but I think Kai would enjoy this. I believe he passed on maybe a Monday or Tuesday, and I
Yeah,
read somewhere somebody said that's because Kai doesn't lose on Sundays.
that's
Yep.
right. Kai
Yep.
doesn't lose on Sundays.
Oh,
That's exactly
the
right.
quote from
Oh man.
who was it that had it? But somebody had said like when you beat Kai even in the top eight, it's like you won the tournament.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Because
man.
you just didn't lose in the top eight, right? So if you beat him, it was like I did the thing. Like even if you lost the next round, you're like, whatever. I beat Kai on a Sunday, right?
I
And that,
believe it was I was there in Amsterdam when Brad Nelson beat him in the top eight on that Sunday, and I believe that was the first time Kai had lost on a Sunday in
I think
maybe a
that's
very long
correct.
time,
Mhm.
but at least a very very long time.
And he
Oh,
had
it's from
won
Reed Duke was the
several
one that
pro
had the quote.
tours before
Actually,
that. Yeah.
it was Reed that said that,
Who had
but
said
very
what?
accurate. Very
Yeah,
accurate.
Oh,
for
the,
sure.
passed on
Yeah.
on Sundays. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, fair enough. That said, unbelievable. Kai's incredible. It sucks that he's gone, and that does lead us right into the Pro Tour, of which the Player of the Year trophy bears his name. And the
Mhm.
Pro Tour was pretty dope. Or one could argue, I guess there's a lot of blue cards in the top eight or whatever, but the fact that
Yeah,
there were
but,
so many
like,
different
who cares?
archetypes, so crazy, wild ways of
Yeah.
playing. That crazy excavator deck where you're stacking the bottom of your deck, which was
Yep.
awesome.
With stock up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible.
I mean, yeah, it's 7 archetypes in the top eight. The most popular card was almost shut out of the top eight. Badger Mole Cub. I think only 4 copies made top eight.
Good.
And
Yeah,
yeah, it was an incredible showing for the standard format.
I do, and this is something I was telling people prior to the tournament that while those decks are good, Badger Mole Cup decks are good, they are also beatable, right? And I get people being bothered, like I'm tired of seeing Lana Relf and Badger Mole Cub and Ouroboros and decks or whatever. But I almost look at them as I guess, the current green creature package, right? Same way that you would if you're going to play a control deck, you're probably playing Stock Up, you're probably playing No More Lies, whatever.
Mhm.
Like there's just certain cards if you're playing a creature deck or mid-range, if you're playing black, you're probably playing the Bat, you're probably playing the Room, you're probably playing whatever, right? There's just certain cards that are just good and they're going to be part of the package. I don't think that makes the deck redundant or boring or whatever because there's 8 different Badger Mold decks. There's eight
Yeah.
different, demon decks. There's a bunch of different stock up decks, right? Like, so I think it's totally fine. And we got to see that. I think there was 7 different decks in the top eight, if I remember right. So
I
good stuff all around there.
if you're I think the players who are complaining the most about things like the Badger Mole Cup decks or whatever, they're not playing best of three. They're playing best of one. If you're playing best of one, you're going to run in that crap all the time. And you're going to be frustrated a lot of times because you're like, wow, I just got completely run over. There was nothing I could do. Well, if you're playing best of three, you can bring in like 7 removal spells. And you know what?
Even
Game 2 and 3
yeah,
is going to be a hell of a lot easier.
honestly even in best of one, they're able to be dealt with because I'm
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it regularly.
It's not
So I don't.
impossible. I'm just saying, like, I
Yeah,
think for
yeah.
those who are like really pissed off and I can't do anything about it or whatever, I'm like, have you tried a sideboard? Because I think you'd be
Right.
really interested in how that
You know what?
thing
You know what's
works.
more annoying than Badger Mole? Like, still, if you just play against red decks, I'd still rather play against Badger Mole Cub decks than red decks,
I agree with that.
but they still exist, so it's fine. Right?
Red
Like, we'll
decks,
be
let's
Yeah,
fine.
for
count to
sure.
20, yeah, with
Yeah.
everybody else.
But yeah, I mean, it was one of the most entertaining Sundays that has like ever happened. Just an incredibly cool tournament, an incredibly cool final, like so many great moments from that from Christopher Larson, who I've known for a long time. He has stayed at my apartment when I lived in Vegas. You know, one of the most jovial, happiest guys you'll ever meet, and a great showing for Scandinavian Magic. And it was just an incredible weekend of Magic
I mean,
to remember Kai by.
I
oh
will
yeah,
tell you this: what I thought was neat in the elimination rounds, several matches going to 3 games, and
Yeah,
even in the top 8, several of the matches going to 5 games. You know, like I don't remember seeing it that frequently for so
right.
much on coverage,
very
and
yeah.
there
cool.
was a lot that were. So that was actually pretty cool too, showing the balance of all the different decks.
Yeah, I need to know who had Doomsday Excruciator as winning the Pro
Yeah.
Tour on their bingo card because I sure as hell didn't.
What's
That
funny
was,
is
yeah,
I
it's a
had
tough one.
Doomsday decks and I had Reanimator decks. I didn't have them in one package, so
Right.
like that was a thing I did not see coming.
I know that the interaction with Superior Spider-Man and Deceit is
It's
absolutely
great.
filthy.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah.
Filthy.
Wonderful.
I am impressed at how filthy that is. We move out of the first pick here to gather the townsfolk thanks to our sponsor, Mana Traders, the best tool to enhance your Magic Online experience. Use the code MagicMikes_4CI for 10% off your next subscription with them and tell them we sent you. We appreciate them sponsoring the show. That's MagicMikes_4CI to get that discount. All right. First up here, we got to talk and remind everyone that the annual fundraiser rather for Trans Life line is happening right now. Go to Tulare Community College's social media. You'll see it all over the place. Give.translifeline.org/TCC will get you there. Multiples of $4 get you in all the drawings. They're already adding 10 collector booster boxes of Lore and Eclipsed. I know that whenever I was in a position to donate from any company I was with, I did so. So I would expect many more announcements as other companies are donating more and more to the pool. You can also get involved. I know many times people have reached out to Prof and being like, hey, add this to the pool and add this to the giveaway. That's certainly a thing you can do if you're feeling generous. But yeah, let's go raise some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I will be donating something as well. I will be going, I think the last 2 years I participated, so I'll be going in there and digging something out of the closet that's rare to give away.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I got it up here on the screen here. Like I said, we're just getting started. I think he runs this for like a week, I believe it is. And so, yeah, it's going to be dope. It's going to be way more exciting than it already is. So go check that out and be a part of it, which would be fun. All right. There was a big old article on GameSpot that talked about some upcoming products. They're bringing back collector commander decks. When's the last time?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy had those too, right? Was that the last time?
Yeah, Final Fantasy had some.
Yeah, and those sold out in 4 seconds. So I
Yep.
would expect that for this as well. It also, and I like to highlight this card because this card is kind of blows my mind. I'll bring it up on the screen here for you. The blue card, Mathemagics.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, that
card
was
is
that was a
nuts.
wild one.
Exponents.
Yeah.
Was it 14 mana, win the game immediately?
Right.
Basically.
14, or sorry, X equals 7 is 128 cards, I think, in Commander.
For Commander, yes. I'm
Though
talking about
for
in,
people
like,
who are trying to
standard
make that a
Commander.
big deal, like you kind of do that already with Doppelgang in a lot of
Oh,
cases.
you
Yeah.
do it in a million different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so for people
Yeah, for
going, I
sure.
can't believe them. It's like we kind of already have that, guys. Let's
Right.
relax.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. Per se.
Yeah,
I
if you're
just thought it
spending
was funny.
14 mana, you'll probably win. But it is very fun, and it is, it's Strixhaven flavored, and that's delightful.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that we're getting the Mystical Archive back, which is great. I love getting all those altars and whatnot. I have still used a ton from the OG Strixhaven, which was great.
Yep.
Some cool little, just different little products that they're coming out with. I thought this was kind of neat with the Strixhaven Codex bundle,
Mhm.
which is neat, and a mini.
Here's the
pack
thing.
with 4
I just
different
realized
art versions of stuff.
wasn't pointed out here, but they are bringing back a new version of the Challenger decks that are supposed to release with Strixhaven, I believe. They're going to be 2 decks themed, predominantly cards from like Foundation, so they'll last longer in Standard.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be available 2 decks with each in-universe Magic release for, I guess, the foreseeable future. So to kind of give people an easy way to get back into Standard and whatever and have those available again. So that was something that was sent through the WPN like a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Oh boy.
And hopefully we'll be seeing those soon. So those will be available around the same time.
Well, as you would expect, they're going real deep on Marvel superheroes.
As they should.
As they should. I wish beyond wishes we could have this for Arena, but we don't, and that makes me sad. But again, if you're gonna go and this is your chance, well, you better go as far as you can go, because that's a whole thing. But Mathematics, I think it's going to be in one of my favorite cards of the set. I don't think sort of what happens at this point, because I think it's gorgeous and awesome. It's one of those cards that I love cards that you can show to like your friends, and they can be like, wait, does this work? Like, particularly like your math nerdy friends with this card, they'd be like, oh, is this what I think it is? They're like, yeah. Like, oh my God, that's incredible. I love that. That's
the thing to remind people is the game was created by a math teacher.
That's right.
Right.
as it should have been. An interesting discussion on Tuesday on the official Magic stream that had the Secret Lair team hanging out on Weekly MTG, and the senior directors there. And they were talking a little bit about, Secret Lair and what happened and what didn't happen. There was a weird kerfluffle. We talked about a little bit in the pre-show about the Chaos Vault experiment with like different pricing for the same thing. Is that right?
Yeah, literally the goal was going to be a 4-card Secret Lair with 5 price points, the high end being 50, the low end being 10, for some reason. Like, I mean, that's literally all I got, right?
Right. Like, what was the expected? What were you hoping for?
No idea. Like, people tried to make this about being a money grab or whatever, but realistically, if you do the math on what percentages each one would have to be at to sell and whatever, they're probably just making the same amount of money. So I don't think it's a money grab issue, especially since they're likely to sell out like other Secret Lairs or whatever. Anyway, they either sell or they don't. So I don't really know what the goal was, right? Because I've thought about this hard the last couple of days, because trying to get into the business mindset of, okay, why would you have done this, right? Because this had to pass a lot of checks and balances to get that far.
Right.
So
many people had to say this was a good idea, right?
Yeah, or as we also discussed, nobody just said it was a bad idea. Right? Is the other problem. But I don't know why you would have done it, because this isn't even a pay what you want type thing, because people are just going to buy the cheapest one that's up. Right? Like, and there's nothing different. They said outright, all of them were going to be exactly the same. So I don't really get it.
Right, so if you sell a bunch of the cheap ones and you sell enough of the expensive ones, somewhere in the middle, you just kind of sell the same if you just sell them.
Exactly. If you just put them at the $29.99 like they have been or whatever. Right. Like, there's no different. So I don't get it. And even from just an optics standpoint, I'm like, what is somebody supposed to look at and take away from that? Like, there's no... And there was a post on social media as well that was just kind of cryptic of like, yes, we know we did this on purpose. There's no difference between each of the different packages.
Right.
And it's like, okay, then, but why though?
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, even if you're just like, hey, we're doing this to make some stuff cheaper for people, or we're trying to reward a certain thing, whatever.
Right.
But like, it's just weird. And ultimately they end up just pulling them down. I think now they're just listed as not available or whatever. But yeah, it was a weird situation. I don't know what to make of it.
I do appreciate they went on to talk about print to demand, because print to demand, that's the magical panacea. It fixes all the problems of Secret Lair if you can just print to demand. That's not how it really works. Print to demand causes a whole bunch of problems, and I appreciate this when Wizards just straight up says, look, man, it's better for business to not do that. It's better for business to get X and try to sell, Y in that period of time. And if they don't sell all of them, as we've seen, they'll move them in different markets. They'll sell them to stores. They'll get them through distributors. They'll find ways to get rid of them. But remember about the dumpsters full, and they found at a landfill a bunch of Secret Lair stuff or whatever. It's like, that's how you get that, is when they're trying to do this print to demand, and they just made too many of them, and there weren't enough people for that demand.
I think it'd be cool to just take some you have and be like, hey, we're doing a sale. Right? Maybe you missed these.
For some of them, or they sold them for like $1 or something recently. Remember?
Yeah, they did some for $1, I think is what it was. But I was like, just make them available. Be like, hey, we found some sitting in the warehouse, whatever, 8 months later. You get these for $10. Like
Yep.
you'd
You
sell
know,
skids of them. You
another
know?
thing I thought was interesting is that people are talking about basic land cycles versus stacks. And it's like, just let me buy 10 of this land or 20 of this land or whatever it is. And they did some of that. And guess what? They didn't show up and vote with their
Yeah.
wallet for stacks.
Yeah.
And like, dude, the wallet reigns supreme. No matter what it is you think you believe in or want to tell Wizards to do, where your money goes is going to be the loudest thing you can say to them. And that's kind of what
Yep,
happened.
that's every business. Like I even with my shop when I had, there was the same. There were people who wanted certain things,
Mm-hmm.
and then I offered it a couple of times. They did not show up for it, and I was like, "Great, not doing that again."
Absolutely.
Right? Like
Once bitten,
you
man.
lost the right for me to hear your complaint.
Right, you can do
Like,
that again. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. So it was cute though. Why do some drops have 4 cards versus 5? And it's like, nah, you know, science,
Yeah,
art,
right.
something, numbers,
Exactly.
cards, whatever. Question mark, question mark. So that's kind of neat. I do.
it's also
appreciate-
like a weird question. It doesn't really matter. Like you
Yeah.
want it or you don't. Like whatever.
I think there was interesting the fact they said they were going to never reprint older drops. So the secret layers that sell out so quickly that those who are in the queue and can't make it like burn them bad, of course, and they feel bad about it. But ultimately, you know, once you got a secret layer and they're gone, I mean, if you got it, well.
Oh, I already
you made
assumed
no
at this
more.
point we're
I
what
assumed as well,
6
but
years
good to
6 years in on secret layers or whatever. Like
Right.
and none of them have been reprinted to date. Like they ain't gonna reprint any.
So this was neat. They announced on Weekly MTG that the BNR update, the banned and restricted update, will include Commander. Are they syncing those together? Their Power Dragon?
Yeah, I imagine that's what they're. Sorry, you were asking Power Dragon.
Well,
No, I mean,
yeah, I guess so.
It makes sense that it would. It's something that was discussed previously because I'm no longer on the panel, but I was.
Fair.
But yeah, that's something that was discussed previously, just so people are in kind of the same schedule and kind of know what to expect. And when you go looking for banned and restricted accounts, you might as well have everybody talking about it at the same time, right? So it makes sense. Do I know what's going to be on there? I have no idea. I know there's stuff that was discussed before I left, but I got no clue over the last few months. So
Ruben, you got
that's
hopes
a
and
different
dreams
group of
for this
folks.
BNR update?
For the
Uh,
for any format or
Sure.
For anything, I have no
I mean,
idea.
you know, Commander, I would love to see them shake up a little bit more. I'd love to see them get rid of Rhystic Study and or Thassa's Oracle for like top level play. But I mean, there's nothing I'm particularly
You know,
worried about.
Rhystic Study is a very interesting card because, and it obviously is one of the cards we had the most discussion about at the time. But even this past, well, 2 weeks ago, when I was out talking to people at events, like they kind of feel the same. Like they understand it's like I get it. It does slow games down, and if it had to go, kind of, but like I still really like my Rhystic Study, and I have this
Yeah.
version and whatever, and like so it's a weird thing of everybody
It's a weird spot.
kind
I
of
would
likes
like to
it,
see
but also wants it
partners.
to go away. So it's
I'd
like,
like to see partner commanders get errated or banned or changed in some way because that affects the EDH more. But like bracket 4, bracket 3, bracket 2 is perfectly healthy. Standard is the best it's maybe ever been. Nothing's. I mean, legacy is a bit of a problem.
I've heard that.
I could see
I've heard that from a few
Balustrade
people.
Spy and Underworld and Undercity Informer getting the axe and legacy because Oops All Spells is still an issue. But that's about it.
I'm
I
also
mean,
a fan of ban more, not less. I'm that guy. So
sure.
you know, like so you know, it is what it is. Because man, if I could get Cyclonic Rift and Humility on a list, oh my
Oh,
god, I'd do
sure.
it in a heartbeat.
Nice. Well, let's when we're to Desperate Ravens, we talk about some things to rant and rave about. And look, this one, let me say this up a little bit. I have helped to organize many an event. I've helped to invite people in, whether it's creators, whether it's artists, whether it's people in the community, whether it's other like retail outfits attached to Magic, whatever. No matter what it is, when you're trying to put this type of show together, you only have so much space. No matter, even the big ones, even the Vegases of the world, you don't have infinite space. You don't have infinite invites. And there was a post by Brian Wackwitz, who is a Magic artist, who said he got turned down for a MagicCon. And he says, he posts, "I think I will be turned down for all of them. Rumor circulated that unless the artist is current or extremely popular, they are persona non gratis. Seems that rumor might be true. Oh well, thankful for Sorcery TCG." And then you learn this man hasn't made a Magic card since 1996.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a large majority of us listening right now who weren't alive in '96, and I'm not trying to take those away from him. He had some really cool, like, Angus McKenzie or whatever.
Bruh,
Some
what
cool
does he
stuff
have?
in
Like 30
Legends.
cards tops?
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's great that he did that work, and it's really cool. And I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying that, like, the reason you make those shows is because you're trying to get people to show up. And it's cool if he were to show up. Your problem is if you look at practically any artist who is current, who is making these magic cards, who is doing the work and making the big mythics or so on, you kind of want to get those people in. And if you get all those people in and you're out of spaces, there's no room for the guy who made stuff in 1996. Like,
right.
Man,
it's just
I'm going to let Ruben go.
Spike
I got
is
a lot
cool.
to say about this.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
I mean,
Brad?
Four Spike's rad. Angus McKenzie is rad. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't made a card in 30 years,
Like, throw the
for
guy a
Magic,
secret layer or something, right? Like,
right? That would be a reasonable way to go about this.
absolutely.
I agree.
I'm serious. Like, if he should reach out and see if they would like work with him. They've done it with different artists before. As far as I know, there's nothing weird going on in his background or whatever.
Right.
You know, it's just he hasn't made anything in a very long time, and he did make old school art. And old school stuff is cool, and you can celebrate it in a way that's unique and secret layer, and that you can't just like putting them in whatever set you're working on now.
Right.
It's just such an odd thing where you read it and you're like, oh man, I can't believe they're not going to let him in as a magic artist. And you're like, well, he hasn't been one for like almost
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
He did 21 cards.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's be real.
30
To be fair, people honestly, and I'm looking through these. No, I'm not either, but like if you're gonna say that you're persona non grata, like
come on, dude.
come on, like we gotta you put yourself out there. We get to have a real talk about this.
I would say persona non grata in the original usage. Man, we're getting into some deep language, literary shit. But persona non grata means like person who isn't important. Like person not of importance.
Right.
And in that sense, he is correct in the literal usage of the word that they perceive him to be of non-usage. He is not like hated. He is not.
No, he's definitely not hated.
Yeah,
not hated.
He didn't do anything weird.
But I think
history or whatever. Like,
but I think that's the way that comes off is, oh well, I got turned down, and here's why, and they're not going to want to work with me again. And it's just like, well, no. Where have you been?
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Like, have you reached out? Like, we don't know, but you got to give some context. Like, have you reached out and not let you work before?
Right.
Over the last
I think
30
that there's
years?
an avenue back also. Like, this is obviously.
Are you saying he was at Magic 30 in 2022? Is that correct? Or no, are you talking about they reprinted their work in Magic 30? Match 30th edition.
No, that's whatever. A lot of stuff got reprinted.
Yeah, that's all.
But to me, it's like, yeah, it makes sense that they would want, to your point, they want more current people or whatever, right? And you can't have everybody because we have literally at this point of several hundred magic artists, I guess.
Right.
So many people have done artwork. But if you look right now, they have invited quite a large number of artists for Vegas. I swear the last couple of times there were like 40 or 50 artists.
Brian was invited and attended the Magic 30 convention in Las Vegas, October 2022.
Amazing.
It's not like this man has never been to one of these events. That's all I'm saying.
Then let's have the other real conversation is there might be some other reason you didn't get invited back. Right? Did you not have a line?
I don't know, but
I'm saying, did you not have a line? When they did surveys, did your name not come up among artists that people were there to see? Right. Whatever, right? There could be other reasons as well, because there's been a bunch of MagicCon since, and he sounds like he hasn't been working them, right?
And again, as an organizer, like you said, if as an organizer, you're walking around, you're checking it out, and if every artist has an insane line except this guy, again, not to be a dick, but you're there to get butts in seats, and you're there to get people wanting to come and see these artists among every other thing you're doing. And so, like, it's hard to say, hey, I want this person back because you gave them a shot,
Yeah, and I want to be clear and say I'm not making any type of judgment against his art style, skill, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he just hasn't done a Magic thing in a while.
Right.
So a lot of people don't know him. And Wizards is already inviting 40 to 50 artists for every MagicCon. Like, they have a whole section of the floor is just artists, and some of them already have lines that are cut off in the first 2 hours of the day.
Oh yeah.
Like, so yeah, they're probably not going to bring somebody in if they're like, hey, this is all premium space. We don't have room for somebody who's not going to be a big draw.
Right.
And again, may not be a fault of his own. Just hasn't done any Magic artwork recently that people are going to relate to or be
Right.
interested in.
It's the same thing as like when artists get awesome cards and they don't even realize it, and sometimes they get bad cards and they don't realize it. You know, what was it? That one artist is like, I keep signing these boots or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that there's a world. I mean, look, I don't perceive this to be a problem. I
I don't either.
I just thought it was wild to be.
It's
like,
interesting.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there's this scandal. I'm like, no, it's not.
No scandal. I think it's
No,
fine for.
there's definitely
Listen,
not.
I think it's fine for Magic to say no, thank you. I also think it's fine for the artist to be like, oh, that sucks. I also think that it's fine for the artist to post to social media and say that it sucks. I think that everyone played correctly here.
But I do get it because I mean people are probably going to say, well, what about these other old artists that they like? But Mark Tadine and
Dan
some of these
Fraser,
guys,
yeah, it's
yeah, like they have not just current pieces that they've done over the last few years. They have popular pieces,
and giant super layers that did amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
like yeah.
There's an avenue back. We can do this.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I think that,
and I think he should be involved.
About
I agree with you. He should have a talk and say, hey, how do I get to do more stuff?
Yeah, and I also don't think. And I think that the way that we are talking about it right now is a good way to get started. Like, I don't think that he is persona non grata.
Not at all.
I believe that he is simply not on the top list. There's only so many booths.
Right.
And yeah.
And let's be honest too, for people who don't know, like there's a reason now he probably wants to be involved because Magic Cons have become absurd. Hell, even the one he attended, that only got what do you have, like 9 or 10,000 at the time.
Right.
Now they're more than double that.
Yeah.
Right. They're like 22,000 or whatever. And more people are there for now people are paying for signatures. I think every artist is charging $3 to $5 for a signature now. There's no free signatures because the lines are just insane. All right. So, and I can tell you, probably won't put his name out there, but there was an artist that after one of the shows, he got invited to go to a dinner I was at. And he was like, no, I'll pay for dinner. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And he literally looked at the table and went, no, we have really good days at Magic.
No, we can shout. We can shout.
Pay for dinner.
We can shout him
don't
out.
Shout him out. It's fine.
We don't.
Way,
that man is a delight, and I love him so much.
Yeah, but I'm not going to put that out there.
The artists to have that experience. You know what I mean? I want all the artists to be able to have fantastic days where they can buy dinner. All right, so moving on here. There is a very classic thing on Wizards of the Coast that we like to poke fun at all the time. And that is when the left hand don't know what the right hand is doing. It's a tale as old as Wizards.
Yeah.
And we have here Day of Black Sun featuring a screenshot of the
Day of Black Sun.
Of the Day of Black Sun, like we just watched these past Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And then we have Black Sun Zenith, extended art version, a promo, I believe it is. And, or no, the promo,
Same screenshot, slightly different focus.
Right.
Yeah.
With the word Black Sun.
Black Sun Zenith is also the full-blown card. Someone didn't talk to someone else.
Yeah.
Clearly. And it just cracks me up when we see this happen of like, they didn't do that on purpose. And when they
it came up in the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Somebody had a Black Sun Zenith promo in their deck that they thought was a Day of Black Sun.
Oh,
got a game loss
right here. Yeah, for seeing.
Yeah.
Got a game loss for it. And then it got fixed. But still, it was absurd.
Yeah, that's a whoopsie. That's a whoopsie. I mean,
that is a whoopsie.
You know, I would have appealed to the head judge on that one, honestly. I think there's an argument to be made that, like, there's so many similar words, for God's sake.
Sure.
You could argue that, like, come on, guys, really?
I think the argument I would have made, other than, like, hey, I borrowed some cards, they reached in, they saw Black Sun and gave it to me, you know. But one of these is also standard legal and one is not.
Right.
So
one of them is obviously the card I want to
like, so
play.
I would have appealed on those grounds. Now, I don't know if they did or not, but that's the case I would have made. Of like, I'm not going to register a non-legal card, obviously.
Right.
You know what I mean? We both know what I'm trying to do here.
For sure.
I think that that's a reasonable argument as well.
Yeah. So there was an interesting post. We'll move on here to some, was it splash damage? Was that what that was? For the next ones, I don't worry too much about that last bit. Yeah, splash damage here for Mark Rosewater. Presenting a very redacted document, which in current day and age is a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Really didn't know go over the redacted
Yeah,
marketing, quite
yeah.
frankly.
It's a weird
But,
month to be posting a redacted document.
Yeah,
That
ask the
is
folks
true.
over on 4chan.
Yeah,
They've been back in the news.
Sure.
Done that. Anyway,
Hilarious.
apparently there is going to be at MagicCon Las Vegas, exclusively via Secret Lair, a brand new trading card game. An entirely new card game. I guess I don't know if this actually does say trading on here. An entirely new card game created by Wizards of the Coast. And what does that mean? I don't know. I don't think Wizards of the Coast has done a new card game since Transformers, and that only lasted like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And kind of here we are, and what's this? Question mark. What's this? What's this?
I mean, I don't know. I'm the negative guy in the room. Like,
you would be.
you didn't give me anything to be excited about. So it's another card game. And it's weirdly under the Secret Lair banner. So, like, I don't.
It's a fast experimental play experience. How could you not be ready to go?
That's right.
Yeah, don't be wrong. I'd still be interested to see what it is. I might check it out if I'm already going to be there. But, like, what am I supposed to get excited about? Like,
Yeah.
you got to give me something, man. Like, that's all I'm asking. Just give me something.
Players will be battling with redacted. I don't even like to say redacted right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just
It
a
feels
weird.
bad.
We not.
It's a weird.
It does feel
man.
bad. Yeah.
I just don't get. Even if you just said like, hey, it'd have been a family card game or it'd have been whatever. Just give me something.
Something.
You know, like
Nice.
because it's hard to speculate on that.
Yeah.
Ruben, tell us about Olivia and Brian on Actually.
Yeah, so Actually is a show on the Dropout.tv network. You all should subscribe to Dropout. They're making some of the best scripted content on the internet. And Actually is a game show that is a nerdy game show specifically. That
It's the nerdiest game show they have.
It is the nerdiest game show that they have. And this one was a Magic the Gathering special hosted by Ify Wadiwe, who has appeared on not only Commander at Home, but also Tolarian Community College.
He's also appeared
stuff,
at MagicCons.
And he's done stuff on stage at MagicCon. And he's well known in the comedy space and in the improv space and sketch and all that. And Brian Kibler and Olivia Gobert-Hicks were 2 guests alongside Ali Beardsley, who has also been making appearances on Commander shows in the recent past. And it was really well done. It was an excellent collection of trivia and hard questions, honestly, that I really appreciated. So yeah, it was great. And if you get the opportunity, you should go watch it.
There you go. All right, let's turn the corner here to the finisher. January has come and gone, as has Lorwyn Eclipsed. So as the moon wanes out, tell me, what are you hoping for on our 3rd trip back to Lorwyn and Shadowmoor in a few years, Ruben?
Well, this punchline would have been better before we just talked about something. But that's okay. One of the abilities we got in the original Lorwyn that we didn't get this time was Hideaway. So I'd like to see a new take called Redacted. That instead of putting a card face down, depending on how much money you have, you can just do whatever the hell you want and you won't get arrested for it. Just don't print it on anything with a card type island.
Wow. Wow. Wow,
Whoa.
dude.
Whoa.
Was that what? Was that what's the problem?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I'm here for it.
Power Dragon?
Well, one of my favorites from the original Lorwyn block were Kithkin, obviously, and it remains one of my favorite creature types. And the 2 best are the leveling up creatures with Figure of Destiny and Figure of Fable. So I'm excited for the 3rd entry in the series when we go back, Figure of Speech. That isn't literally a creature, but it makes sense in context.
Very nice. Now look, Lorwyn is great. Lorwyn Eclipsed is great. Elementals and elves and giants and hybrid mana and Squeen and Crag and all the rest. It's a plane that is still juicy with options and opportunities. But one callback we didn't get that I was hoping for, one reference we didn't call back, is a return of Spectral Procession. And when we go back next, that will be the right opportunity because then we will have 3 sets seriously. Nice. Nice. That ends another live episode of Magic Mike's. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Power Dragon.
Hey, as always, good to be here, and I will be deep in the tank messing with Standard because there's still so much to explore right now.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Ruben.
Man, the Standard environment, Standard right now, if the voting ended now, Standard's format of the year. Lovely to talk to you guys. We will all miss Kai forever. That's going to be a huge talking point
Oh,
this year.
and one more thing. Go get your $5 from Mana Pool. They're still giving you free
That's
money. I
right.
don't know how long they're going to do it. Go sign up and get your free money.
Yep. Not all sponsorships are negative and bad and weird. It's an actual fantastic service for every Magic player who hears this. Go get free money. I want to give it to you.
That's
Go
right.
Take it. All right. That's it. We're going to move on here to our final slide. I want to thank our primary sponsor, manapool.com. Go to manapool.com/promo/magicmics. Thanks to our sponsor, Mana Traders, our co-hosts, Power Dragon and Ruben Bressler, viewers like you for watching or listening or supporting us. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us on our exclusive member Discord, subscribe to our Patreon, watch us live on Twitch, join us live or taped on our YouTube channel, and join us or follow us on Blue Sky. And join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody. And now on Twitch,
I didn't find a raid.
Ruben
Sorry.
didn't give me one.
I didn't do a raid.
Tappy's on if you're going to
Tappy,
go
go
toss
raid
people at
Tappy.
Tappy.
That's how to do
Tappy.
it.
That's
I
what
did
we're
forget.
doing.
I did forget to do that. That's my bad, everybody.
Yeah, Tappy's on, Bruja Gaming,
Yep.
Nice.
a couple others.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out here. Tell Tappy we said hello. She is a force to be reckoned with. And
That's
is
right.
awesome. So we'll see you next week.
Ball of energy, man.
Sorry, I forgot to.
I don't care. It's fine.
No, so what?